Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints. And in this episode, I get a chance to talk to Matt Horn from Horn Barbecue. If you haven't heard about him, you will hear about him. He's doing Central Texas style barbecue with a southern twist up in Northern California. Right now, he's just doing pop ups at breweries and then special events. Not just because he's doing an incredible job. I got wind of him a little while ago. He took a trip to Texas with Robert Jacob Lerma, the amazing barbecue photographer, the super generous guy who took him all around Texas and to a bunch of really cool events. And we talk all about that. We talk about his background. I think you'll love this because, and especially if you're aspiring to open up a barbecue restaurant or do a pop up of any sort, he lays it out, and you don't have to have a background in barbecue or even in food. You just have to have passion, and I think you're gonna love this. Let me know what you think. If you do like what you see, please subscribe. But enjoy this. Thank you, Matt. All right, Matt. So how you doing tonight?
Good, man. Doing all right. Just
So
kind of relaxing before a big event tomorrow.
so what do you got tomorrow? You have a
Yeah,
big.
so it's kind of like a tech conference for, kind of like high school age kids. So PayPal, they're actually hosting the event, and then like Tesla's involved and a lot of other
Oh,
different
nice.
companies. So it's cool getting like the younger kids involved with tech.
So important.
Yeah, absolutely, really cool, especially with everything going on, these days.
Yeah. It's like a positive and like a sea of negativity. That yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are you? Are you making brisket sandwiches or?
Oh gosh, man. I wish I was. No, we're doing turkey, we're doing Italian clubs.
Catering,
Yeah,
catering.
yeah.
So
I
tell
wish I did have a brisket sandwich, man.
I wish I had one right now.
For real.
So tell me your background. How were you always into barbecue, like as a kid? Like what's yeah? So what's your background?
You know what, man? As a kid, I kind of grew up eating barbecue. Just wherever I can get it. A lot of different family members doing barbecues, that sort of thing.
Where do you grow up?
Um, what was it?
Where
Yeah,
did
I grew up in Fresno, California.
Oh, Fresno. Okay, okay.
Yeah, right in the Central Valley. So that's where I was born and raised, and it's kind of like where my love of barbecue began. And there was a lot of different people doing barbecue and whatnot, but it kind of just stuck with me as I've gotten older.
When did you get into Central Texas style barbecue though?
Oh man, you know what? I was dating this girl at the time, and I invited her over, and I was just like, "Hey, come over. I'll do some barbecue. We'll have some ribs and everything like that." Made her some ribs, and got everything finished, and I thought that they were like the best thing ever. So I'm sitting there eating them and everything like that, and I look over, and she's just only eating the sides, and I'm just like, like what's going on? And she was just like, you want me to be honest with you, the ribs aren't that good. And I was just kind
Wow.
of like, man, and I really like this girl. She's my wife now, but at the time I was just like, man, that didn't really sit well with me, man. So from that point forward, I started kind of doing research and kind of seeing, what different guys were doing because I really didn't have anything to reference
Hmm.
after. But that's how I kind of stumbled across, these guys doing, this Central Texas style barbecue, and that's how she actually was the first one to introduce me to brisket. I had never had brisket before, smoked brisket. It was actually over at Bloodso's while we were in Los Angeles.
Oh, the Compton location.
No, the La Brea
Oh, the
location.
Brea location. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So the La Brea location. So she asked me, she was like, "Hey, you want some brisket?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm always down for some good barbecue." So we went over there, and that's when I really tried the brisket, man. And from that point forward, I kind of like started, kind of doing research and just seeing, what these guys were doing, and then, the method of how, the brisket was prepared and just the Texas style barbecue. It stuck with me, man.
Well, and it's so different that first time that you do have Texas style barbecue or
It
Texas style
is.
brisket. It's like an epiphany. Like it's like what the heck have I been missing out?
It was, man. Yeah, I'm used to, just barbecue kind of oversaturated and barbecue sauce,
Uh
and
huh.
you're hungry, you're hungry and that sort of thing. But yeah, man, that was something I was just like, hey, this brisket is great, and
That's
that's how.
awesome.
Yeah,
When was that? Was that a couple years
you
ago?
know what, man? That was in what was that 20? What was that 2016? Was it 50? That's when we were dating. Yeah, yeah. It was 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah, it was 2014, man. But from that point forward, I was just kind of like, man, I'd like to kind of recreate this thing, but I didn't have a cooker at the time.
Were you working at a restaurant, or were you working in the food industry at all,
You
or
know what, man? I was working at a Finish Line.
oh, Finish
Yeah,
Line,
the shoe
the shoe
store.
store? Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was working at a Finish Line, man, at the shoe store and everything, and I ended up leaving from there, and me and my wife we moved to Tracy, which is a little Tracy is a little south of Merced.
Hmm.
Yeah,
How far from San Francisco, or is it closer to Sacramento or closer to San Francisco? Yeah, I think so.
Tracy is closer. Yeah, Tracy is closer to Sacramento. So it was there where I was just kind of like, hey, I don't have a cooker. I have no way to cook this barbecue that I keep, talking to my wife about. Because after a while, she just was just like, hey, I'm tired of hearing about barbecue, and that's that sort of thing. I would talk about it. We'd be sitting on the couch, and I'm just like, man, I just. I want to cook some ribs. I want to do this, and I have some ideas. And she was just like, "You don't even have a cooker," and I didn't at the time. You know, I didn't have a cooker at the time. So when I got to Tracy, that's when I, kind of saved up some money from
Hmm.
doing, some catering jobs, and whatnot. And, I got like a vertical, kind of like a vertical meat locker
Hmm.
type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Got that made. And I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out and try out this farmer's market.
Oh,
And that's how
wow.
it started.
Wow, that's gutsy. That's taking
It
a
was,
leap.
yeah, absolutely.
And what were you cooking at that time?
During that time, we were just doing like pulled pork. We were doing ribs. We do chicken. Um, I
No,
kind of
no
made it
brisket.
no brisket. You know what? No brisket at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you this, man. Um, During that season of doing the farmers market, people really enjoyed it, and that's where the confidence continued to
Hmm.
kind of build up and grow. But we did a festival, and I'll never forget. We were doing this festival. We were slammed. I have this picture where we had over 100 people in our line,
Okay.
and that was just like that was the first time I kind of experienced like a line of people.
Hmm.
But I had a guy, man, come up to me from Texas. He was like, "Hey, man, I just want to tell you, buddy, that I enjoyed the barbecue, but he's just like, you need to get some brisket on your smoker."
That makes
And I was like,
sense.
"You know what, man? I was like, I'm gonna get to it." And it's kind of I had never did a brisket at
Hmm.
that point,
Well, it's a little
so
intimidating too, because it's
yeah,
everyone thinks they can do brisket, but you have to
no,
mess up a lot.
it is. It's a lot, man. Just kind of like Wayne Mueller said, it's a labor of love. It's a lot that goes into it.
Hmm.
Uh, Very tough cut of meat, and
Were
to
you
really
watching anything online, or did you get Aaron Franklin's book, or did you?
Well, here's the thing. After that festival, and that guy was like, "Hey, man, get some brisket on there." I stumbled across Aaron Franklin, and I seen the guy. I seen him doing this thing, and Aaron is cool, man. I met him when I drove out to Texas
Oh, nice.
last November. So Aaron is a real cool guy. But I seen him doing, what he was doing, I had a great respect for it from what him and his wife built.
Hmm.
Coming from the backyard to,
Oh yeah.
what they've built now.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So,
Yeah.
so 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 did you start smoking briskets on that vertical smoker?
I did. You know what? I started smoking the briskets on there. I messed up a bunch of briskets. I kept going. I was kind of determined to, kind of deliver the best product that I could deliver. And then after that year, the next year is when I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get like an offset smoker built.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was from that point because I was using, before I even got that thing built. The only opportunity I had to cook barbecue is when I drove to Fresno. We'd go visit family.
You cook on theirs,
Right.
or
Yeah, so I tell my wife like, hey, we should go up to Fresno visit family, and she was like, oh, okay, cool. But that was like really my opportunities to go in my grandmother's backyard and cook.
that's awesome. That's great.
I love my family, but I didn't have anywhere where I can cook.
No, that makes sense. You're doing anything you could to get a chance.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So how did you spec out that offset? Did you know what you were doing?
You know what? I kind of had an idea because what I was cooking on in my grandmother's backyard was kind of like a smaller offset. Kind of have the firebox off to the side, like a smaller chamber.
Mhm.
My grandfather used to cook on it. It's nothing, compared to Lucille what I have now.
Mhm.
Lucille's my 500-gallon offset.
And where did
So
I want to get to that, but where did you get that? Where did you get Lucille? Who made that? Did you?
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The reason why I got the name Lucille, like every time I go out and cook, I listen to BB King's Lucille, and it just kind of like stuck with me. It was just peace. It was like a peace came over me, man. Listening to the blues and you listening to BB King, so
There's something special
that's where
about
I got
that.
the name.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so great. So then, when you started, when you got your offset, were you how many brisket were you cooking again for like farmers market still,
When I
or
started
pop
doing the
ups, or?
farmers market, I was only doing probably about like 3 or 4 at a time.
Hmm.
It wasn't nothing, really major, but just kind of just testing the waters, kind of see like what the response would be. And the response was positive for the most part, but I felt like I could kind of take it to another level. But once I got my my new offset smoker, I started doing it a little bit more. And then there's guys that I've talked to, kind of got some advice and just
Did
some
you talk to
direction.
talk to guys like talk to guys in Texas, or talk to guys like
Yeah, yeah,
pop up guys
yeah.
here?
Like Esau over at 2M Smokehouse,
Oh yeah.
uh, Leonard over at Truth,
Oh
and
nice.
I reach out to these guys. This guy named Sheldon, Mason's Barbecue.
Hmm.
So I'd reach out to him, just kind of like, hey man, I'm doing this cook. Any advice that you can extend me? Just because it's like I'm one of those type of guys. I want to get in and kind of learn and
Hmm.
kind of develop, myself. But these guys are doing it every single. They're doing it every day. They're
Hmm.
doing it a lot more frequent than what I was doing.
And that's something I think people should know, is that that group of guys that you've referred to, a couple other people have mentioned they've reached out to Leonard or whomever, even Robert, like people, and they're so forthcoming. They're so, as long as you're passionate, they can tell that you're passionate about it. They want to help as much as they can.
Yeah, man. Even Clay over at Snow's
And Clay
Barbecue,
is
like,
so
yeah,
nice.
we talk barbecue, and those are good guys, man. Like I've met them, once in my
Yeah,
life, and it was like family, and that's
yeah.
something I really, really appreciated.
And you could like it's just there's something special about that barbecue community. It's something different. I think it's like a kinship, but also like the guys you mentioned, those are kind of like rock stars, so to speak, in our industry, and
Yeah,
they're just nice guys, like normal.
they are real cool, man.
Yeah. So when did you start? When did it start taking off? And was it always called Horn Barbecue, or what did you call it?
Yeah, it was always called Horn Barbecue. I think probably the only thing that I've changed is just probably like the logo,
Okay.
but yeah, it's always been Horn Barbecue, man. And once we moved out here to the Bay Area, that's when I was just kind of like, hey, I want to start doing these pop ups, and that was even, I started at my complex here in San Jose because that's where I live,
Yeah.
and was doing it here in San Jose, man, and was getting a really good reception from like tenants that were coming down because every like once a week they have like food vendors come out, so they have food
Oh,
trucks come
that's
out like
cool.
on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So I went to the leasing office and was just like, hey, you know what? I'm a resident vendor. If I could set up my tent and
Oh, that's
bring
nice.
my smoker and sling some barbecue, like, and they were for it, and I'm grateful for that. So
Yeah, that's unique. I don't like my complex wouldn't allow that.
I was worried about it the first time I did it because I pulled the smoker up and it was about 4 or 5 a.m. and this thing is kicking off, just and I was just like worried. I'm just like, they're gonna wake it. There was a few windows that you'd hear close, but people was just like, hey, I smelled that barbecue, and that's why we came down. So
It
that
smells
that was
good. Yeah,
that
yeah.
was fun.
It's a smoke signal, kind of. It does turn out to be.
Right, right.
So then, was that? Did you get any write ups up north on like Eater, San Francisco, or did something? Did
You know
something?
what?
What was the
Eater
breaking point?
Sanford, Eater, they kind of did like some reposts, like on their Instagram and that sort of thing. But we had people that were coming down that were visiting family and stuff like that from the Bay, like San Francisco, Oakland area. And they were like, hey, you should, try to come out this way, do some barbecue or whatnot. And that's what kind of prompted me to start reaching out to, like different breweries. And literally, out of all the breweries that I reached out to, there's probably only one or two that responded back.
And those are the ones that you do it right like now.
That's the
Talk.
one. Yeah, that's the one I do now. So I go over to L Industries, and
Mhm.
L Industries is in Oakland.
Okay, cool. I'll put a link to
So
that.
that's been really great. We've had a really great turnout with that. Like selling out.
Nice,
And then we have another one that we have that's coming up towards the end of March, and that's in San Francisco, and that's Triple Voodoo.
nice. And then you have one,
Yeah.
and then you also have something coming up. What's coming up here in Los Angeles?
I do. I have one in Los Angeles coming up March 17th.
St. Patrick's
So
Day.
that's through Feasley. Yeah.
Okay. And where's that going
So
to be at? Is that a secret location or is that?
that's going to be at a secret location in downtown LA. I'll definitely send you the info. But yeah, that's through Feasley, man. So that's going to be like pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
I'm
to
really
that.
excited. It's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, yeah. That's where the whole vision for the barbecue began, man. Before I even had a cooker,
Oh,
I was
that's
doing
true.
barbecue.
Ah, that's awesome. Well, are you going to be coming down a couple days before? Or?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to get together before we can go get some barbecue somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Unless you have
Like,
time because you'll be cooking too. I'll stop by.
yeah,
I'll bug you while you're cooking too.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, come by, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hanging out with Andrew and Michelle, man, and
They're great people. Great
yeah,
people.
yeah, try to link up with Bert and
Nice.
yeah, man. They are
Awesome.
great. They are great people. They actually drove down, man. They came out to come check me out. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I'm going up to Horn. I'm like, I'm so jealous.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about your trip to how did the trip to Austin work out? How was that? Or to Texas?
So pretty much, man, that trip out to Texas, because I had never been, like I said, other than Bloodsoes, I had never had, truly authentic Texas style barbecue, So I ended up getting in contact with Robert Lerma,
Hmm.
and I had already been following his page. Like it's just his work is really dope.
Yeah,
And
everyone. Yeah, it's incredible, inspiring.
yeah, no, it is, man. And that guy is like committed to what he does, hardworking guy, man. So he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, man, you should probably come out this way, come check out, what we got going on out here in Texas." So at that time, man, because I have two kids, man, that are under two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so before me and my wife got married, I wanted to do like a road trip type thing. So literally, man, I got in the truck and I drove out there.
And how long did you stay there for?
I was there. I think I was there for about 4 days.
Okay. Do you remember
Yeah, I was there.
what places did you hit?
The very first spot we went to, man, was Louis Barbecue.
Okay.
So that was in Austin, and he's doing some really dope stuff. And then we went to the Taste America, the James Beard Taste America event.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So when we went to that, I was able to check out a lot of stuff. Bryce Gilmore over at Odd Duck.
Yeah, he's
Aaron
gonna.
Franklin was there, man. Like that was cool. Yeah, yeah, that was cool, man. And there were some other guys over at Bangers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we went to a whole hog cook there. Leroy and Lewis, I was able to check out some of their stuff, man.
They're
It
just
was like
putting
really,
out
it was really
phenomenal.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really creative what he was doing.
Hmm.
So that was cool, man. And a lot of different spots, man. But yeah, we did the whole hog, and that was at Yonder Way Farms,
Oh
and
wow.
that was the kind of like an outdoor whole hog kind of supper.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was great, man.
And that's a unique experience. What you experienced with Robert.
You
That's.
know it, you know what it was, man, because I was grateful that Robert, invited me out there. But what I was able to experience on my first trip, it really left like a long lasting impression. Because we went over to La Barbecue, we went over to Smitty's, we went over to Kreitz.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it? Isn't it so great? Like for someone like us going to Smitty's and Kreitz, and like it's
yeah,
just it unheard of. Like it's so the architecture is beautiful and it's
right,
smoky
right.
and
It
there's
is.
like
Yeah,
smoke stains on the walls and.
it is, man, and I love that the whole character and feel of it, just
Hmm.
the whole aesthetic. That was like really, it was really inspiring
Hmm.
because we went in there, just seeing the fires on the floors and
It's so
just having
wild.
different. Yeah, that was wonderful, man. That was great.
And the wood pile. You see the wood pile?
The wood pile. Yeah, Robert took a picture of me in the wood pile.
I wait. I think. I mean, that's why. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's an awesome photo. It's because
yeah. I was
It's
standing in the wood
massive.
pile, man, and Robert's doing his thing, man. He's like, "Hey, man, just stand right there," and he went up and did his thing, did his thing, man. So yeah, that was cool.
That's cool to be immortalized by Robert Jacob Lerma.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
That's awesome. So then how long did it take you to drive? It was 2 days to get down, 3 days.
You know what? It took. I want to say it took like. Yeah, it took about 2 days, 2.5 days.
Hmm.
And I was like real anxious and just the anxiety, but I had never, I've never done the trip
Hmm.
because I had to drive down from the Bay Area to go down, to SoCal and then take the 10
The
from
10
there.
all the way over. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's the route that I went. But yeah, it was wonderful, man. But on the way back, I was really happy to see my wife and kids, and I kind of rushed back a little bit, but I had a lot to think about after that trip because we went to the Texas Monthly, the Top 50 Festival as well.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, so while we were there, man, I tried so many different briskets and Valentinas and 2M and Miller Smokehouse.
Yeah,
A
there's
lot of
like
these different, yeah, a lot of these different Mueller barbecue, like Wayne Miller. I was able to talk with him recently, man, and
that's killer.
that guy is great. Yeah,
And he great, super gracious, and yeah.
he is, man. He's really cool, man. And like I said, I'm like real humbled and just grateful by just everything that's kind of transpired with the barbecue.
Isn't it interesting too, like going to the Texas Monthly Barbecue Festival? There's so many people there, and they're all passionate about barbecue, and not all of them cook barbecue like you. Like they're people like nerdy people like me, but like it's such a passion now. And it's amazing that there's that many people that have the like mindedness to be
No,
that excited.
yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. Because one of the like, I posted a picture. I'm like Texas breakfast, and literally like at 8 a.m., a full platter of barbecue and a beer over at Snows. Like,
Nice.
yeah, that was like awesome. But just to go and see what Carrie and Tootsie and what their whole team is doing over there and hang out and talk with Clay. Like he was working, but they all stopped what they were doing and came and hung out, man.
It's hard to
And it's
believe.
just good people, man. They've
Yeah.
never met me before, and I have a great respect for what those people are doing out there, and everybody just doing barbecue. It's a lot of work, man.
And you wouldn't see that in any other industry. Them stop and talk to you.
No,
Never. Never.
no. People will will blow you off, and I've experienced that. People will blow you off,
Hmm.
but it's just like these people have a long line of. There was a long line there at Snows, like when we went,
And people and they
and
still and Carrie and Tootsie and Clay all talk to you. Yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing.
Kerry came and he was just like, "Hey, look, I'll take the picture of you and Tootsie." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And so I reached around her, and that's the picture I have on my IG. But yeah, he took the picture for me, and when she was done, she went back to mopping her meat, and it was just like love, man. So I have a great respect for him.
And it's great.
I
It's
really
like,
do.
yeah, and she's going strong. And I think there's a lot of times like when people do things that keep them alive. I think this is what keeps her going and keeping her strong.
Yeah, I just lost my grandmother, man, probably a couple years back.
Ah,
It's about 2 years or so
oh,
now.
I'm so
So
sorry.
yeah, yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. But my grandmother, she worked really hard like that. So it's like I told Tootsie while I was there, kind of whispered in her ear, and I just told her, I was like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, and I have a great respect for it, because I do.
Yeah, yeah. So do I. I have
Yeah,
immense respect, and all the praise they get is so well deserved, and it's so great to
yeah,
go out
yeah.
there.
It's deserved, man. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like in a little oasis. Like it's not a town that it's a whole lot more than that. There's other stuff to do, but not. It's a small town, super small town.
Right. Yeah, it was super small because when we went, we turned down the street and it was like a little sign and it said Snow's Barbecue this way. I'm
Mm.
like, wait, this is where it is. But then we went and we turned. I seen this long line, and I was just like, wow. And
Yeah.
it's just like, and I love their setup, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I recently had Clay. I asked Clay if he'd film a little bit of like the pits and the wood, just because
Yeah,
I dig that stuff, and it's just like oh, I just love seeing it.
yeah.
It's a great setup. Oh, wait, so what do you think the future? Are you doing solely barbecue right now, or are you doing you have another job and you're doing barbecue? Is that kind of
Well, yeah, yeah. Right now I'm doing solely barbecue, and I try to do it kind of like with a southern influence because that's just how I grew up. My family is from the south, and
that makes sense?
yeah, from Oklahoma and Louisiana and places like that. So it's like I try to kind of bring that influence into what I'm doing, like with the size, just to kind of create something really cool here in California.
That's awesome. There's not a whole lot of people up north doing it that style.
Right,
Not a
right.
whole lot, no. So, what do you want to someday? Do you dream of a restaurant, or what do you think? What do you think? Like 2 years from now is?
You know what, man? To be honest with you, I never, literally, like with barbecue, I never thought that I would even be doing barbecue. I didn't think I'd be doing barbecue at all.
Mhm.
But I'm grateful to be able to do what I do. I love it. It's hard work. I appreciate it, and you know what, man? Like that's something that me and my team is definitely like working towards, man.
That's
Is
nice.
open a premier location out here, man, and
It,
just
if you were to do it, what city do you think you would do it in? Like if you had
you
a
know
choice.
what? If I was to open up, we've kind of played with with the idea, kind of looked at places in SF and
Hmm.
Oakland or whatnot. But I kind of feel like Oakland would kind of be ideal if I
Yeah.
were to do it.
Hmm.
It's really cool what's going on. A lot of development that's going on.
Oh, without a doubt.
And just the city, yeah, it's just a lot of character and a lot of history in Oakland, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that I would, and it seems like wait, wasn't there one barbecue place in Oakland that people used to go to? I'm trying to think of
Uh,
Earl
hey,
something,
man, is there
Earl,
what barbecue spot in Oakland?
Earl something, or am I
Oh
correct?
yeah, yeah, Everett and Jones.
Oh, Everett and Jones. Yeah, yeah. Is that still there?
I've never, I haven't been there, man.
No, I haven't either.
I
It's
wanna-
on my list to go.
yeah, I haven't been there, but I know they've been doing it, and they've been doing it for a long time. So
Yeah, and I've
yeah,
heard good things. Like it's been there for so long. It's got to be doing something right.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, we'll meet there someday. That'll be a place we have to
Let's do it, man.
like for sure.
I think when I come out to LA, man, I gotta check out Salt and Straw again, man. I don't know if you've been there, but it.
Oh, for the ice cream, it's
Oh
so
my
good,
god,
so
they have
good.
like a roasted strawberry tres leche
Oh,
ice cream
oh,
that's just.
I haven't had that one though. Uh,
Oh
which one did you go to?
yeah.
West Hollywood one? Isn't there one in West Hollywood, or is that Santa Monica? The West
You
Side?
know what? There is one in West Hollywood. There's the one I go to is closer, like off of Beverly. So
Okay,
going like as if you were going like towards the Grove.
okay, over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds
But we
good.
got, you got to definitely stop by, man.
Yeah,
Stop by
yeah,
the
for
event.
sure.
Let me
Well, so
know. Yeah, yeah.
when do you think it'll be coming out? The 15th or the 16th?
You know what? Probably, yeah, probably the 14th or the 15th,
Okay,
just so I can start getting everything ready and, kind of preparing everything. So,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll come out for sure. Is there anything else that people might not know about you that you'd like to let people know?
Wow.
Like what are your just really quickly, what are your meats and sides so that way people know?
So we're doing brisket. We're doing pulled pork. I've can kind of play with the idea of possibly doing like a tri-tip,
Hmm.
just because we're with us being here in California,
Yeah.
but we're doing that, making sausages in house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, we do kind of like we're doing southern greens, mac and cheese.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. My wife, she makes a wonderful potato salad, man,
oh,
and we have a whole list of just different things that we're planning on doing. So I'm just kind of taking it, just trying to do something different.
definitely.
We definitely stay true to a Texas style brisket and representing what Texas is about. We don't take any shortcuts and
Nice and
all
yours.
season good, man. Yeah.
And so are you when you smoke it when are you smoking on site when you go to like the brewery? Is that where you smoke or do you smoke in
You
there?
know what? I have the smoker, man. I have it parked somewhere where I can be able to do these all nighters and
Yeah,
whatnot.
because most
So
places won't let you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, a lot of places won't. So just somewhere where I can kind of smoke the meats comfortably, and then then we bring it over, man, and we serve it up
That's
literally right off the smoker. Yeah.
that's awesome. I've heard only good things, and I've heard only good things about you as a person too. So
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man.
I,
Thank you.
I respect what you're doing, and I really can't wait to meet you. And if you're up north, people have to go visit you. Are you doing almost once a week, or is it?
Well, you know what? I've been doing it. We've been doing it kind of like every other week, but
Okay.
after the event that we do in March,
Mhm.
April, we're gonna really kick it up.
Okay.
We'll kind of put something out there. We kind of like there's a location that we're taking a look at.
Okay.
So yeah, come April, man, we're gonna be doing it at one central location, doing the
Nice.
pop ups. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
huge. That's important. That's really
yeah,
great. Well,
absolutely.
awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time, man. I'm glad we got
No, man, I
this worked
appreciate
out.
you, Kevin. Thank you, man.
Thanks so much, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, buddy. See you
All right.
soon, man.
Take it. Have a great weekend.
All right, man. Talk to
Thanks.
you soon.